Do you know a lot of Spanish? Ocho, cinco?
That's about it.
As long as he is on a back of a football jersey, I know it all Spanish.
Yeah.
What would you change your name to if it had to be for, like, you know, football cool celebrity reasons?
Probably Curtis Hung. Oh, that's my like alter ego.
That's your name that you would choose. Curtis
Yeah.
Hung. Okay. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why Curtis Hung? Sounds kind of Japanese.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's because I'm Asian.
You're right. But yeah, why Curtis Hung?
What's nickname my girlfriend gave me?
Your girlfriend okay, so is this like got a sexual connotation to it?
No, it just has a nice ring to it. It's kind
of.
but
so does Marilyn Manson. But you don't, you decide that either. I mean, why? So Curtis, maybe, what about Kurt Hung? Or maybe that kind of sounds like curtain hung. Like I hung a curtain.
Kurt, middle name, N.
Yes. Do you have any like pet names for her? Catherine Wang?
Margaret Cho.
Yeah. She's not even Korean.
Yeah.
But I call her Margaret Cho. No, that's cool. Is this the same woman that is older than you?
Yeah, definitely.
Whoa. Now, is this something you want to get into? I mean, we don't have to like get into the gory details, but you are dating, shall we say, an older woman.
Yeah, definitely. She's twice my age.
And you are how old?
I just turned 26.
Okay, so twice the age of 26. That means she's 102?
She just turned the big 50.
She turned 50. Okay, so what did you do on her 50th birthday?
Nothing really. She was
there's a boyfriend for
yeah.
you. Guys, women, he's taken.
Well, she was real like sensitive about her birthday. She wanted to be by herself. So.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't really much I could do, really.
Certain women, yeah, they don't like their birthdays.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, like, at a certain age, you know, you're probably not like, oh, boy, I got another year older. Yay.
Yeah. So, a little tough subject there, but I definitely...
But she looks hot still, right?
Definitely.
Because that's the only reason why you would be dating her, clearly.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's the only reason why I date women is only for their looks.
Always is.
Yep. That's my new motto. Looks only. Anyway, no, that's not it. That's probably why I'm single.
But no, it's...
How'd you guys meet? Like,
at
a bingo parlor?
She was my tutor. And coincidentally, she was John Johnson. She was his neighbor.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and I used to hang out with John Johnson quite a bit at his place, and she came over. I met her a couple times.
When he was having the open mic at his house?
No, we were just like, him, myself, his girlfriend. We would just hang around at his place and play cards, do whatever, and then every once in a while she would drop by.
You guys were like bridge partners?
Always, just because she's got more experience.
Yep. Right, I get it. It was strategy.
Yeah. At first,
then love. Strategy first, then love. I get it.
But.
So you were hanging out with her for a little bit, playing cards, and then you were like, "Hey, John, man, your neighbor's kind of hot. Like, what's up with her?" And then he was like, "Listen, Haystack, I think that you should totally haystack her up, and also put it in her haystack."
In a haystack. behind a haystack. We were hanging out, and then her and I was trying to like, I was single, whatever, and she was hot, and I was trying to hit on her and this and that, but for a while she would always shoot me down.
Right, because you're like her like grandson's age.
So she's,
and you're like, "Listen, I can do whatever those older guys can do.
Only better.
And I can even talk in a manly voice like this."
Yeah. But yeah, it was. I kept hanging out over, and talking, and then eventually one thing led to another,
and you got on her AARP card. That's tight. That's tight. And how long ago was this? How long have you been?
Over a year, actually.
That's tight.
August was a year.
And you don't talk about any of this on stage.
Yeah.
Which would assume, in me, obviously, thinking like, this is be gold,
Yeah, I definitely have a couple jokes that are good, but I definitely go after the easy stuff. She doesn't know how to work a computer.
And is she cool with you talking about her on stage? Have you brought it up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely run all my jokes by her. But I definitely try, for like every joke about her, I try to have a joke about me being so young.
Right.
So like,
and that like the age gap is the funny.
Yeah, and I definitely try to exaggerate the age gap. I try to make it seem where she's older than what she really is, and I'm younger.
That's good.
So
I could totally see that working.
Because I don't do it in a spiteful, mean kind of way. I try to, playful.
And does it normally work?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes sometimes, yeah.
Like most jokes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they work.
Definitely depends on the crowd. I actually did one time the older girlfriend jokes. A lady came up after the show and she's like, is that girlfriend stuff true? And I was like, yeah, it's true. She's like, because I'm 51. I was like,
and I think you're so cute.
Yeah, I was like, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time. I was like, thanks.
Do you want to have a three-way? Between the three of us, we have over 200 years experience.
She's like, it's a lot of lube and Geritol.
Hey, I'm down for that. That sounds like a great night.
Yeah, instead of like swings, it's like walkers and chains.
Stand-up comedy, open mics, interviews, and a podcast too. It's just a day in the life for Daryl Williams. Just a day in the life. Whose life? This comic's life.
Hello and welcome to This Comics Life. This is me, your host, D. Williams, a.k.a. Daryl Williams, a.k.a. Dumbass, a.k.a. dude that's hanging out with another dude that's just another awesome stand-up comedian and friend and just fellow, just cool guy. And I'm talking about Cody Modglin.
Greetings.
Now, do a lot of people screw up your last name? Modglin?
Yeah, it's pronounced Modglin.
Modglin. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think I did that after you said it.
Yeah, no, it's like a modular home.
Mm-hmm. So Modglin.
Yeah.
Got it. Modglin. Did I say that at the beginning?
No.
I think I said modelin.
Most common mess up is Moglin.
Moglin? Mogwai?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Where does that come from, besides your dad?
I'm not too sure. English, if I had to guess. But.
You know what's so funny is I try to tell other people that too, where like, sometimes white guys, they don't really care about like where they came from. It's just like, I'm a white guy. I came from Chino.
Yeah.
They don't like seek out their heritage or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a lot of other people, especially other ethnicities, to be like, what? You don't care about where you came from? You're like, no, not really.
Is what it is.
And I always think I'm always like a mutt where it's like, I'm never like full-blooded, one thing or the other. It's like, no, my family, like, they fucked a lot in Europe.
Yeah, it's hard to have pride in that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of pride in that they were promiscuous.
Well, yeah.
And that they had enough sense and wherewithal to have me. Thanks, Mom and Dad. No, but Cody, that sounds definitely like a guy that looks like you.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely grown into it, I think.
What's the middle name? You don't have to give it out if you don't want to.
I will, but it's Earl.
Wow. Cody Earl?
Yeah.
Cody Earl Modglin. Modglin. Modelin. Modelin. I like that. I like modelin better.
Yeah. I wish.
Cody Modglin. Yep.
So yeah, I wanted to change my name for a while to for on stage is Earl Youngman.
You definitely like, what about Earl Hungman?
Yeah.
Keeping it up with the Curtis Hung. Change it. It's a hybrid.
Well, I figured the Youngman because it's spelled young man, and then if I just do a bunch of older girlfriend material, it would just play into that.
I like it. But Earl Youngman sounds like, you're like a 40-year-old Jew.
Yeah. Old Henny Youngman.
I got a brother-in-law who's a karate expert. Joined the army. First time he saluted, he killed himself.
Take my old girlfriend.
Yeah.
On a stretcher.
You could definitely do that. You could be the new young version of that.
Henny Youngman.
Yeah, called Earl Youngman. Okay, so you were discussing with me earlier off the air about your first experience at the Ha Hook Cafe, which is a club out here in LA, and it does a lot of open mics as well as just different shows. But it is kind of like a pay-to-play model.
Yeah, definitely. It's the first show that I did is they said it was showcase, but definitely a bringer. I had to bring 5 people for 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I didn't have 5 people I could take, so I just offered to buy the tickets, and they were cool with that. Did that, and it seemed like they were kind of pissed a little bit that I didn't bring anybody and just kind of showed up by myself. And
right.
But
yeah, because it's not that you're just bringing people for you; you're bringing people for all the other
club,
people.
Exactly. Which I totally get. He was kind of pissed. It seemed like at first, but then he was like, "Well, I only told you a week in advance," so he's like, "I'll let you go up." And then I was like, all right, whatever, cool. And then they ended up putting me up first. And that
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Which whatever. But I'd never done a club in that.
This was your first, book show, so to speak.
Yeah. So I was a little nervous, but went on stage, did my time, did really well.
How many people do you think were in the audience?
There's quite a bit, maybe 20 to 30, I'd say. Mm-hmm. There's quite a bit.
So a decent crowd, and they were susceptible to what you were throwing down.
Yeah, they were a good crowd. Did my time, got off, and they liked my stuff. They offered me to come back next month, again on a Sunday. Again, I had to bring people.
Of course. So did you get a chance to bring people then?
Yeah, I just brought 2 haystacks.
And was it good enough, or were they like, no, that's not 5?
No, they were cool with it, because it was better than my first time. And it was the owner. The first time it was the booker who was running the show. The second time it was the owner, and he liked it. But I fucked up where I did a good set, but it was 8 minutes, and I got off stage before the light. I ran out of shit to say.
Oh, so you went short.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that.
He didn't like it, but he liked my stuff.
That's interesting. Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people that go less than the time.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about when people go over their time.
Yeah. Because what I did was, the second show wasn't as many people weren't there.
Right.
The first time, the crowd was really good, so I had a bunch of laugh, a bunch of time in between jokes because of laughter. And then the second show, I still got laughs, but it wasn't as long. The waves weren't as long. So I went through my stuff just quicker.
Right,
and
right.
By the time I was done, I was I did a couple of new jokes that I'd done once or twice at open mic.
You need to tell the booker that hey, my stuff usually works if I have longer laugh breaks.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks for not having that.
Yeah. Laugh longer, people.
Yeah. Why didn't you have your audience, why didn't you prep them and say, laugh longer, people? This guy doesn't have enough material.
Yeah. I need an average of 1 minute laugh break to do that. Otherwise, I'm out.
And, don't worry. You could take a piss in between the laugh breaks.
Yeah.
Just keep laughing while you're pissing, please. No, I've had those moments where, I think I've talked about it on this before, where, I had a moment where a dude hit me up on Facebook, a booker, and they were saying, yeah, come on to this show. It's going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. They didn't say anything about bringing people. All they said was, just promote it. And
Sure.
I was like, okay, no problem. I can promote the shit out of this. And of course, even though I promote it, did I bring anybody out? Nope. It's still, just me.
Yeah.
So I show up, and then as soon as I show up, it turns into a different booker that is actually hosting.
Damn.
And they're totally not even aware, who I am. And, I have to, prove to them and show the flyer, hey, see that name? That's me.
Jeez.
And then, of course, they're like, well, did you bring 5 people? And I was like, I didn't know I had to. And they're like, didn't the guy that told you when he was hitting you up, bring 5 people. And I was like, all he said was promote it.
Damn.
So then the dude straight up goes, well, I guess you're not on the show.
Fuck.
So then I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to like deject me. This isn't going to like tear me down. What was that one song? This ain't going to break my stride. This ain't going to hold me down. Whoa. I got to keep on moving.
Nothing gonna break on my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
Yeah. So anyway, I decide like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go bark and then like try to get people to come in because it was like LA and a pretty busy street.
Yeah.
And so I actually get 4 people to like come in off the street to come see this free comedy show. So then I fucking go over to the dude and say, hey, see those 4 people over there? They're from me. So what's up? Can I come? Like, can I do the show? And he literally goes over to those 4 people, talks to them for a minute and like I could see them like talking to him and then they look at me and point at me. So he's literally asking like, who brought you here?
Damn.
He had to like prove it to like, he didn't even want to take my word for it. So then after he has that chat, he comes back to me and goes, I'll give you 3 minutes. When I was supposed to originally get 10.
Fuck.
And then, of course, like, there was like 8 people that showed up that didn't bring anybody, but he already knew already that got put on the show that weren't even on the list.
Oh, God.
So I ended up going on like 13th or something on a show that was billed for 5.
Fuck. Fuck.
For 3 minutes, too.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then I was like, awesome. This is LA comedy. Yeah. Woo! I'm living the dream.
Fuck.
Yeah, but then of course, like, I tell a lot of comics this, and I get 2 camps. You know, I get certain people that are like sympathetic and go like, dude, bro, I feel your pain. I've been through that and I know it and it sucks. And then there's another group that are like, yeah, dude, suck it up. Fucking, what are you, fucking puss? Like, yeah, boo-hoo. We all got horror stories about shitty mics. You should have already known that it was a bringer show, you dipshit.
Yeah, it's shitty though.
It is shitty. It's just, that's the thing though, is that like we were talking about before, it would help if you had the guy that would be like, here's how you do it, bro.
Yeah.
A mentor, you know, somebody that could like, that has been there before that would tell you certain things that, hey, you know what? Before you do this and fuck it up royally, let me show you how to not do this and fuck it up royally.
Yeah.
You know, obviously a lot of comics don't get that. They're kind of just doing it by the seat of their pants and they run into experiences where you're like, well, that was an experience. Never going to do that again. You know, yeah, you learn the hard way, but am I not going to do comedy anymore? No, it's just, that's one experience, you know, now I can talk about it on the podcast with semi-fond memories.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm assuming this isn't your first girlfriend.
No, it's my second like real, long-term relationship.
And are you normally attracted to older women?
I'd say so, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really that I'm attracted to older women per se, but it really doesn't matter the age or.
You just don't like having sex with condoms.
No, she's surprisingly, I actually have to still pretty strict about that, but
because she doesn't trust you with the clap.
Youngster.
Yeah, I get it.
So
well, I dated an older chick once, and I wouldn't say she was double my age. I'd say she was maybe 12 years older than me, and she was definitely DTF and crazy, but also DTF.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gotten to a point where it's not about the physical aspect. Really, it's probably it's kind of amazed me really that it's gone as far as it has, and like how real it. I mean, despite the age gap, it's definitely something that I've never experienced, and it's very pure in a way. You know, it's pretty crazy. But
have you asked her like all those like things, like where were you when JFK was shot? And...
I definitely try to get a taste of history.
Right. That's what I would ask her all the time. Like, where were you when this happened? And like, how old were you? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then also, I assume, yeah, she has kids and like an ex-husband? And
Yeah, no, it's it's definitely,
have you met any of her family?
no, not yet. Because I mean, she lives in a different state.
What? The plot thickens.
Yeah, it's definitely a long distance thing.
How? What state? I mean, you don't have to get out.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you don't have to say like her literal address. But
yeah,
like,
I mean, it's driving distance, but
okay,
it's like a couple
so
hours.
it's either Nevada or Arizona. That's nuts.
It's one of those.
And you do this. When was the last time? Like, how often you drive out there?
Well, she definitely comes down here more.
Yeah.
Last time I was out there, it was a while ago, a couple months for sure.
So she moved from John Johnson's neighbor, and she said, "I'm out."
Yeah, she was living both here and there.
She's jet setting. Whoa, man, she's like balling. I can see now why you're into her. This woman, like, she totally like makes it rain on you and stuff.
Oh.
That's a yes. That's a total yes.
Nah, it's definitely.
Everything you wearing right now, that watch, that's all from her. You're like her, like sugar, like.
I never thought about that, but not the watch, but
she's her. She's your sugar mama. This is awesome. Like, you're living the dream.
Well, yeah, I was, but and no, don't get me wrong, I still am, but it's not. It's not about materialistic things either. But it's definitely nice, but it's not why I'm with her.
Right, I get it. You have to say this because you're probably assuming she's listening. But I understand off the air, you'll let me know that it's completely because she's giving you Rolexes and diamond-studded skateboards.
Yeah, well, she said if I ever get a skateboard, she's going to break up with me.
That's tight. I get that.
Yeah.
So what other stuff do you normally talk about on stage?
Well, a lot of my stuff.
You do like a lot of one-liner stuff. I wouldn't say one-liner, but
yeah,
I would say
definitely
you
short jokes.
definitely talk about a lot of different things in a 5-minute set.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole bunch of things that I do talk about, but if I do have like certain topics, sex would be one, drugs would be one.
The go-tos.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I feel like a lot of early comedians, their first year or so, it's always going to kind of lend itself to those types of things. And at least like, personal experiences, usually involving those things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well,
do you remember your first joke or your first like set?
my first joke that really got the ball rolling. I never used it, but how did it go?
This was the first one you wrote down.
Yeah, and the first joke that I was like, okay, I finally wrote a joke, because I'd always like try to write shit prior, but it was never really. I never really thought it was a joke. But the first one I wrote down is that I met this lady at the bar. She just kept going on and on about how she keeps it real.
I keep it real.
Yeah, she keeps it real.
Hey, Cody, Dakota, whatever your name is, I keep it real. I keeps it real.
Yeah. And so yeah, she keeps everything real. All organic food, non-GMO. Everything, just everything organic.
Oh, okay. So she keeps her food real. Like, I thought she just that's her motto, like in life. Like, I keep it real. Like, I just tell everybody, the truth every time when they don't want to hear it. If they want to hear it, who cares? I keep it real.
She's from Oakland.
So she did have an accent.
Yeah, but I wasn't really. So yeah, she keeps it real. All organic food, non-GMO, organic everything. Right. I don't really remember exactly what she was talking about because I was too busy staring at her fake titties.
That's the joke?
That was my very first one I wrote down. I don't even think I ever used
That's a Steve Harvey joke. It's where you just did the delivery where it's like, this lady talking to me about GMOs. All I can see is her boo obese.
So that was the first one, and then my first set was at John Johnson's Haystack Showtime thing.
At his house, or at his like?
No, it was
at
at
the
Black
bar
Bull.
at Black Bull.
Yeah, and
so how long have you been doing comedy? Not that long, then.
No, it was January will be 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was real nervous, and I didn't know really how to start. Like what to do, anything. But I found John. I was looking on Facebook comedians. I found John. He lived in Huntington. I hit him up. And I was like, hey, do you know of any open mics? He's like, yeah, I'm starting one.
It's like, yo, Haystack, I am. I do know where those mics are. They're in my house and at the bar I frequent. So cool that you hit me up.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then
you became besties?
Yeah, I mean, because, I didn't really know anybody. I didn't know anybody. And then he was kind of my...
So you're not from HB?
I'm not from California, actually.
Yeah, where are you hail from?
I'm from Indiana, actually, originally.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Gary?
That's too scary for me. But, no, I'm from southern Indiana, actually.
Okay. So then how long ago did you move out?
3 years. 3 years ago.
Sweet. And you just decided to one day, or you went for a job, or?
Well, no, I actually came out here with my parents. My dad got a job out in Seal Beach.
See. That's right. You're still young. I forget. I'm like, oh, wait. That's right. You're still 24.
Well, yeah, I came out when I was 24. But,
Yep, I get it. Okay, so you came out with the fam, and then your fam said, like, we're in California, and then you're like, I want to do comedy.
well, no, well, in Indiana, I wanted to do comedy, out there, but, it's fucking Indiana.
Yeah, where do you think the closest open mic would have been?
Well, I lived by a college town.
So maybe the college
Yeah,
would have had
somewhere
one,
around
or
there.
maybe a bar around there.
Yeah, there are definitely open mics around there.
A mixed mic, probably.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not like an actual
definitely.
comedy club.
No, well, they do have one comedy club. It's
Right.
actually
In what city?
decent. It's called Bloomington,
Yeah.
and it's called the Comedy Attic. I actually saw the whitest kids you know there.
Okay, that's
So.
that's sweet.
So it's not like big, but it's like
It's big
Sorry.
enough that they
Yeah.
probably have, like touring comics. And
yeah.
An open mic.
And then they also have a comedy fest out in Bloomington. It's like the Limestone Comedy Fest.
That's cool.
But I don't really know much about that. But I surprisingly I didn't find out about that until I moved to fucking California. But
There's a fucking comedy fest. I
Yeah.
didn't even have to go to California for.
but yeah, I always wanted to do comedy. In Indiana, I was always class clown, whatever. And, I just found a knack at making people laugh, but just fucking around. And at the time, my lifestyle, I'd always fucked off. So I was like, I was never good at any jobs I had, so I was always making fun of everything. So I always wanted to do stand up, and like I said, I could make people laugh, but I was always like, I wonder if I can make a crowd full of strangers laugh. Just off of shit I can make up versus off of like conversation.
It's a different beast for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted to, like I said, try that out. But like I said, Indiana, I was like, I'm fucking stuck in Indiana. Comedy, that's a million miles away. And then, I eventually came out to California, and then I was like, fuck, Hollywood's fucking, 1 hour away. And, it's definitely, California's more, there's a lot more to do, so.
Yep. There's definitely a lot more to do, a lot more to get into.
Yeah.
And I do mean, get into, yeah. No, I do feel though, like, it is interesting how, as luck would have it for me, I grew up, in LA. It was one of those things where it's like, I always knew from an early age, like, oh yeah, this is where movies and entertainment and everything is made, and I totally want to do that too.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, maybe it would have been a little easier to start in like a smaller pond, so to speak, instead of just jumping into the second biggest market, maybe.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. But as far as, I don't know how to explain it, but just like I said back there, I didn't know really even where to start.
So how long of a drive would have been to Bloomington, or
15, 20 minutes?
Okay, so you could have gone to that.
Oh
that
yeah,
comedy
definitely.
place.
But at the time, I was fucking off a lot, and and then trying to write a joke, like I had always like had it in my mind, like, oh, if I do give it a shot, I might want to start writing now. And then when I would write, I could never write like a joke. I would always like come up with stupid shit, and just it never really worked out. And I kind of always had it in the back of my mind that I want to try it, and then, but I'd always be like, oh, am I funny enough? That kind of thing. But then once I came out here, I was like, fuck it, I'm out in California, might as well, give it a shot. Certainly not fucking Haystack. Showed me the light,
I think that's all you need. I think that's at least, maybe not necessarily what I had, but I definitely had somebody that kind of did say like, hey man, I do this. You should do it too. And then, the rest was history. It's kind of like, yeah, obviously we know that like there's stand-up comedians out there in this world, but we're not necessarily like, privy to like, well, how do they get famous or how do they like get their start? And it is like, kind of not second nature, but it is like, kind of a mystery of, oh, they do open mics, and then from open mics it goes to, book shows, and then from book shows it goes to like bigger book shows and featuring and middling and
yeah. And it's
it's always like, but how do you like those steps, aren't getting told to you at an 18-year-old person, like, hey, this is how you do it, bro.
Yeah, it's very kind of underground kind of career path,
You have to have people within the system kind of show you like, hey, bro, here's how you do the next step because I did it this way and I'm going to now show you how to do it,
Yeah.
It's like you get that one guy that shows you like, hey, man, it's open mics. That's where it's at. That's where you first start.
Yep.
And then you find some dudes that are a little bit beyond the open mics that go, hey, you want to be on my book show? And then suddenly it's like you're at that next step.
Yeah, it's
and then it goes from there, But it is like the combination of like being at those places that you probably wouldn't have thought about being at until you started doing comedy.
Yeah.
And then also obviously being funny, but also having the ideas and fortitude and I don't know, wherewithal to be a person that can like work the system.
Yeah, I mean, it's all from what I've kind of gathered. It's very well. I mean, yeah, being funny is like your number one thing, but besides that, having a like in a way a work ethic to like just like to pursue what you're going after. It's very not really hard to explain, but it's just there's definitely different components besides just being funny, and that's the hard part to try to like figure out because at like certain points there's essentially you're all on your own, and there's points where there's no guidance. It's like you got to figure it out, like what's the next step, and that's kind of hard to figure out on your own, for me at least. I mean,
and what do you feel like a good goal would be, for like next year, say?
Definitely booked shows. I mean,
to be like only doing book shows, or
a
large majority of just book shows.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be there in a year, but I would like to, because it definitely isn't. It's a process too, just like becoming good at all rounded. Just not being funny, but just the whole system working that, and then on top of being funny. But yeah, just being on book shows is where I would like to be. But again, I'm almost 2 years in, so I see a lot more open mics in my future.
Yeah, there was a movie with Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
And it was actually directed by Michael Crichton. It was like his directorial debut because he was already an author for a long time. He already wrote books and whatnot, and then he decided to like write screenplays. And then he decided, well, I'll direct too. But from all that too, before that, he was a doctor.
Oh, wow.
I can't even do one of those things.
Yeah, I know.
And he's done like 5 of them.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately died. Or he's dead.
Yeah.
He died.
No,
but yeah, Michael Crichton, man. What's your favorite Michael Crichton movie?
The
There's
only
so
one
many.
I know, I don't. The only one I know is Westworld. Well, off the top of my head. But.
Well, of course there's Westworld.
We will soon be landing at the ultimate resort, where you can live out your every fantasy. Each resort is maintained by reliable computer technology, and people by lifelike robot men and women.
Off the top of my head, there's clearly Jurassic Park.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Outbreak.
Sirs, the numbers are correct. I wish to God they weren't. One goes in, millions come out. Every cell is dead. Now we see them individually, searching for the next victim, till there's nothing left to kill.
Mark this day, Salt. Could spend our whole careers waiting to see a new virus.
Sirs, Mr. Motaba, up close and personal.
I hate this bug.
Come on, Casey. You have to love its simplicity.
It's 1 billionth our size and it's beating us.
So what do you want to do? Take it to dinner?
No.
What then?
Kill it.
Congo.
Are you serving that ape a martini?
She's allowed one. It'll calm her down.
Oh, wow.
Time Shift? No. What was that one with, what's his face? Paul Walker?
Fast and Furious?
No, it was called Time Space or something, or it had to do with time travel. And he went back into the medieval times. Ever remember that?
No, I don't think I've...
Yeah.
Hey guys, the internet here. Daryl is thinking of the movie Timeline, directed by Richard Donner in 2003. The film is about a group of archaeologists that become trapped in 14th century France when they go back in time to retrieve Paul Walker's dad. It's all right. Check it out if you want to hear Paul Walker attempt a French accent. It's pretty hilarious. P-dubs, rest in peace.
It's an alright movie. Michael Crichton, he's made a lot of movies. Definitely.
Yeah, I totally spaced it on Jurassic Park.
That's probably his most famous one.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cool idea.
Yeah.
You down to watch the new one? I think they're making a new one with Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
like another
one.
Jurassic World, but it's called something else, like Jurassic Kingdom, I think, or something like that. And it also is going to have Jeff Goldblum. He's gonna come back.
Oh God.
He's gonna be like, I don't know why I'm here.
Have you ever seen The Fly?
Of course.
Dude, I watched it once and I was on...
Oh, fuck yeah. That movie was, like, intense.
I watched it on mushrooms.
What? Why would you do that?
Well, I, did whatever I did, and then I was...
And then somebody said, let's put The Fly on.
No, I was just going through channels, and I saw The Fly, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that, or whatever. And
yeah, I've also never seen somebody give birth, but I don't think about it while I want to do it on mushrooms, too.
Yeah. Well... She did give birth to a big maggot.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that was disturbing.
And were you like, did it help? Or were you like, well, this was a bad idea?
I was definitely like, it was a bad idea, but I was invested in the movie. So I was like, I'm going to finish this thing out. But it was not,
I don't even remember, like I remember being on mushrooms a few times, and we've always watched, people put movies on.
Yeah.
But I've never recalled like being able like so coherent where I could like follow the movie. Like I remember somebody put on that movie Monkey Bone with fucking Brendan Fraser.
Monkey Bone.
Sorry, kitty. I'll be right back after I choke my monkey.
Fucking Chris Kattan's in it. And I don't know anything more than that because like it was just a bunch of images to me. Like it wasn't even like I don't even remember anything about the plot or what about it was. I just remember he was in some like weird like cartoon world or something like, and then it was like Chris Kattan was a dead guy or something.
He was like a cadaver or something like that.
And that's all I remember. And then it was like, who put this on?
My worst, because I haven't really done it in a while, but take drugs, watch movies, I've done. But my worst experience where I was definitely disturbed for a few days afterwards was I did Molly.
Saturday night at a New York City dance club, and the steady beat of electronic dance music, or EDM, signals the start of another night of searching for many of these dancers. They want Molly, lately the drug of choice. It's a nickname given to a pure form of MDMA or ecstasy.
Right. And for whatever reason, I think it was my idea to put the movie on. I don't know if it was I don't remember if it was my idea, but the movie we put on, which very bad idea, coincidentally, very bad things.
The bride.
You have to pick up the cake.
Don't we have somebody to do that?
Yeah, you.
The groom.
I bet you didn't forget the bachelor party checks.
The best man.
It's 5 guys, $900.
The stripper's here. Excellent.
This is Tina.
The problem.
Slip. I think she's dead. There are always options.
You left a dead prostitute in the desert?
It's a 105-pound problem.
Can't do this. We've already done this. And that worked. It has worked. It is working.
What have we done?
What have we done? What did you do?
Have you done this before?
Bam! I just turned your little pathetic ass in.
I am not canceling this
I
wedding.
don't want you to.
I want to know what happened in Vegas.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened in Vegas.
Some very good people.
You're gonna take out my minivan!
Are doing some very bad things.
We were very, very bad. Here comes the Wahoo.
While you're at it, just get rid of that dog.
You want me to kill the dog?
Christian Slater.
This is a situation that defies judgment.
Cameron Diaz.
This is my day!
Very Bad Things, a Peter Berg film.
That ought to be about the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah, with Christian Slater.
Yeah.
And Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
I like that movie. Maybe not good for Molly though.
Yeah. Vince Vaughn's in it. Yeah, it was. It was a very
how that bunch of guys go to Vegas and then they kill a stripper.
yeah, like a hooker or whatever. And
and then they try to dispose the body, and Jeremy Piven's in it.
Yeah.
I think also not Vince Vaughn. It's what's his face, the other guy, Jon Favreau. He's in it.
I thought Vince Vaughn was in it.
No,
but I might be thinking of Jeremy Piven though.
It's Piven, and then Daniel Stern's in it. And what's his face? Yeah, Christian Slater.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. It was decent.
It was, and I had seen it before, but I walked away after that one experience.
I saw that movie at a test screening.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I used to go to a lot of test screenings back in the day.
And movies were movies.
Should we make up a movie? Should we do the bit that I wanted to do?
Yeah, I'm down, totally.
All right, so guys, if you guys have listened to the show before, you know that I like to make up movies from time to time. So what I like to do is I like to have randomness kind of dictate this. So I have two lists of just random actors on one list and random genres on another list. So I'm just going to have Cody pick two numbers at random from each list, and then we'll just go from there and make movie gold. Okay, so pick 1 through 10 twice.
I'm gonna do 9.
Yeah, okay.
And 4.
Okay, so we're gonna have a Bechdel test approved movie starring Amy Schumer. Do you know what the Bechdel test is? The Bechdel test is a test coined by a woman named, I believe her name is Bechdel, and her last name. And she was basically talking about how there's rules for most modern movies. You know, in order to pass the Bechdel test, you have to have a woman talk to another woman about something that other than a man, and you also have to have her have an actual name. You know, like the character has to have a name.
Okay.
Because she feels that, like, you know, this was obviously coming from a woman that was a little bit of a feminist. Mm-hmm. And she was just, you know, basically saying that, like, you know, most movies have women in the movie, but they're only, you know, there to serve a man. Or to be there for the dude, or to talk about a dude, or to just basically you know, be the heroine.
Okay.
So we're not making that movie. We're making a strong female movie starring Amy Schumer. What's her next vehicle? Because she's made a couple of stinkers after Trainwreck. What was that last movie she made with fucking Goldie Hawn? It was called Snatched or something like that. Snatch.
Yeah.
That was literally what the name was. That's like a made up name. Like, if I were to like make a movie up on like SNL and people were like, well, what's the title? And I was like, how about Snatch? They'd be like, dude, that's too on the nose. But obviously, in our reality, that's a real title for a movie that got made. But we're not making Snatch. So what do we want to do? We want to make her a comedy? We don't have to do a comedy. We could do like one of those, like, you know, brooding dramas. Like Room.
We could do like a buddy, like a
buddy movie.
Thelma and Louise kind of.
Okay, but I feel like she already has done that with the Goldie Hawn vehicle. So let's get away from the buddy. Let's do something more like off type, or let's have her play like
a Jason Bourne.
Oh, there you go. She's like a badass, like a undercover cop or something like that, where she goes undercover, or she's a FBI agent, like a James Bond maybe.
Good afternoon.
Can I help you?
Yes, my name is Bond, James Bond. I'm looking for Dr. Goodhead.
You just found her.
A woman?
Yeah.
Secret Service, like a Navy SEAL.
Suck my dick.
She's taking out the next like ISIS like sleeper cell.
She just gets kidnapped and put in the sex trade.
Oh, okay. So she's taking down the sex trade from the inside of her pussy.
Suck my dick.
Okay, so that I like that. Okay, so we're going with that. Okay, so she decides to go deep, deep undercover in her pussy.
Suck my dick.
And she decides that she, you know, her captain or her, you know, the vice squad leader is all like, you know, Magnetti, you're gonna have to go deep under the cover of night. You're gonna have to change your ethnicity too. So she's not only gonna be like,
she's in blackface.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
No, but I like where your head is. She's going Asian because we're taking down the Asian traffic ring. You know, because obviously, you know, the illegal sex ring is not with black chicks, right? It's with Asian. Haven't you watched Taken or any of those movies? It's all the, like, fucking Indonesians and, like, the, you know, Pacific Islanders. They're all into, like, the illegal, like, you know, sex slaves and whatnot. So we're having Amy Schumer changing her ethnicity into an Asian chick and then, like, gets put into, like, a brothel.
It'd be funny if, like, it starts out Amy Schumer, and then when she goes into, like, her transformation,
yes,
it's like Ali Wong or something.
All right, Ali, you gotta make this dude believe that your body is a secret garden.
Yes, okay, so she changes into Ali Wong when she's actually Asian. So it's a dual role. So it's like Ali Wong and Amy Schumer playing the same character.
So it'd be like a Superman type of situation where it's like Amy Schumer walks into the bathroom, but then like Ali Wong walks out.
She comes out. Yep. I like it. I like it. Because let's be honest, like, yeah, it's too politically incorrect to have her, you know, do like a Mickey Rooney, like Breakfast at Tiffany's type of thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, that's more better.
We don't want her to do like, oh, so sorry, be so sorry. Do you
I think it would be.
love
I
you
think
long
it'd be,
time?
I think it'd be funnier if.
Okay, what if she actually still acted like that, but it was Ali Wong doing it? You know?
Me so horny. Me so horny. You keep lying. Me love you long time.
So it's the character like pretending that she's like this, like, you know, stereotypical Asian lady, but it's like Ali Wong going like, oh, be so sorry, me love you long time. And they're like, why are you talking like that? And she's like, I don't know. And then, okay, so she goes inside and she's decided that she needs to take out, you know, the head of the, you know, drug traffic / sex ring. Because, of course, they're trafficking drugs too, like inside the whores. Right, you know, they're like putting like the drugs inside the vaginas, inside the butts, and then they're like, yeah, while you have these drugs inside you, guess what? You're getting fucked too.
Getting fucked. Double time.
Double, yep. And better not get any of those drugs on their dicks, or you're gonna have that coming out of your ass. And I'm not talking about literally. Talking about it figuratively, but also literally. But then, okay, so they're going in, and then she befriends, like, you know, a few whores. She decides to be like, because it's not only that, like, she wants to, like, save them, but, you know, she starts to, like, you know, befriend them and, like, go like, oh, wow, like, what did you want to do before you were a whore? You wanted to actually, like, you know, become a kabuki dancer or some sort
astrophysicist.
Right, there you go. Oh yeah, because it's Bechdel test approved. Okay, so all these ladies, it's like Hidden Figures. They're all wanting to be like, you know, astrophysicists and rocket scientists.
But they're not smart enough to, like, get out.
Yeah, they can't. They just have to use their pussy to, like, mule drugs and dick.
And there's, like, one little kid running around who's Asian. Like short round.
Like short round, yes.
Oh, I'm not that kind of girl! Hey, Dr. Joe, no time for love! We've got company!
Okay, so we got, like, you know, maybe one of the kids from Stranger Things. No, none of them are Asian. We need an Asian kid. Maybe one of the kids from Off the Boat. So we have one of them running around, and then he's also, like, you know, befriending her, but he figures it out. Maybe,
but he's like the bad guy's, like, pawn. You know, he's like kicking the shit out of the women. But then, like, somehow that's like her way in. It's
yeah,
like
what if she, like, you know, kind of starts to have a thing for one of, like, the henchmen or whatever?
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, one of the guys that is, like, you know, the second hand that's also kind of, like, really nice to the ladies. Like, he doesn't want to, like, treat them like whores, but he's kind of, like, just there because he's kind of roped into this, you know. Maybe he's, like, you know, the son of, like, you know, the Yakuza that is running the place or whatever.
You base him off of, like, his looks is like Kim Jong-Un.
I'm so lonely.
Yes,
Just
totally.
Totally, like.
But with, like, blonde hair.
Yeah.
So we got, like, Kim Jong-Un with blonde hair, and he's totally, like, smitten for Ali Wong / Amy Schumer, and then like, you know, she's about to like blow her cover or whatever, and he like saves her, or he like, you know, like covers for her and like makes it so like she doesn't get her cover blown. But then once he finds out, like, oh wait a minute, I just saved your life, but you're a cop, what's up? And then they have like a crossroads where it's like, okay, does he turn her in, or does he like, you know, basically say fuck you to the Yakuza / my dad / whoever's running this shit, and I'm now gonna like be fucking Ali Wong side piece.
And then Asian men, no body odor, none. They just smell like responsibility.
And who's it star? Who's playing this guy?
That's what I was thinking.
Is it the guy from fucking Walking Dead? Is it Glenn? Because it's got to be an Asian guy. Or is it? Or is it the one white guy that lives in the Philippines?
It's Nick Nolte.
Yes. Okay. I like it. And he's totally infatuated. No, it has to be a guy that actually could get Ali Wong.
Okay.
Like, it has to be like a sexual equal. Or are we going so super woke and we're having it be not just a dude, but it's another female? You know, it's like a lesbian forbidden love story.
It could be
like, think Brokeback Mountain, but with lesbians and the Yakuza instead of cowboys.
It's Lucy Liu.
The price you pay for bringing up either my Chinese or American heritage as a negative is I collect your fucking head. Just like this fucker here.
The only other Asian chick out there. I like it. So, we have Lucy Liu, and she's playing, against type. Not really, though. She's actually pretty much really on type. But she's playing the lesbian love interest of Amy Schumer / Ali Wong. So, technically, Amy Schumer, she's probably in like 20% of this movie. But we're going to still say it's starring Amy Schumer.
just for the credit.
That's what it gets the people in the seats. Let's be honest.
Have you seen movies where like on the cover there's like a big name? They're in
2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
I used to work at Blockbuster, and that was half the movies. It'd be like starring Steve Guttenberg, and you're like, really? He's in fucking 2 seconds of this movie. And it's not even that bad of a movie. You didn't even have to say he was in this. Like, you could have just marketed it as like a decent horror movie. Okay, so what happens?
I think it's shit.
Yep. You still into this?
I think at the end, it's all gonna be Lucy Liu's decision, and I think she doesn't know what to do. So like at the end of the movie, she's in the middle, Amy Schumer / Ali Wong, on one side, her dad Jackie Chan on the other side.
Yeah, I like it. He has a small cameo from Jackie Chan.
Not being able to speak is not the same as not speaking. You seem as if you like to talk. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It makes it easier to find out how full of shit they are.
And he just steps in and goes like...
And Chris Tucker is the leader of like...
Right? Oh, so this is a Rush Hour tie-in?
What the hell did you just say?
A Rush Hour tie-in is like loosely based. It's not actually called Rush Hour. It's just like...
Traffic stop.
It's in the Rush Hour universe.
Jackie Chan goes rogue.
Yes, and then he's like, he has to call her. What's her name? Like, you know, Lily or something. He's like, Lily, why are you going outside the Yakuza? We had a strong history of having whores mule our drugs in their pussies, and you're going against that for this white girl who's pretending to be an Asian girl. Yes, Dad, I am doing that.
I think it's Lucy Liu's in the middle, Jackie Chan on one side,
and Jackie Chan's playing the dad. That's the evil.
He's like the And so at the end, it's just gonna be. I don't know what she's gonna say yet, but it's just gonna be a double murder.
She kills Jackie Chan, kills Chris Tucker.
He only has like 2 scenes.
He's got 2 scenes. He's just like, hey man! Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth? And then he just gets shot.
stray bullet.
He's just like, what? These girls got drugs in their pussies? What? And then he just gets shot.
Big worm comes and kills him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Lucy Liu gets shot.
No, Lucy Liu.
She does the shooting.
So she says something to her dad.
Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time!
Shoots him. Spins around. Looks at Amy Schumer / Lucy Liu.
No, / Ali Wong.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Turns around. Amy Schumer. She says something. I don't know. Maybe something from Romeo and Juliet.
Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say goodnight till it be morrow.
And then she just caps Amy Schumer. Sitting under her head and just shoots herself.
She says, I am a Capulet. And then she caps him. Okay, so this has a very bleak ending. It's just a big Romeo and Juliet, like, kill everybody ending. I like it. Is this, like, directed by Tarantino, or?
Yeah.
Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
And what do we call this gem of a movie? Chopsticks? Hidden Figures 2?
No, I was thinking something like Crouching Pussy Can Kill or something like that.
Crouching Pussy Could Kill?
There's something. There's something like that.
How about, Crouching Pussy, Hidden Wong?
And it would just be like, the cover would be like Amy Schumer, like, crouching down. And, like, Ali Wong trying to, like, hide behind her.
She's or she's like stepping into like a toilet and then like into the stall, and then Ali Wong's like coming out of the stall at the same time or something.
Oh yeah.
Or like, you know, or she's like shitting out Ali Wong. You know, she's like just.
It's like a Human Centipede kind of situation.
Yes. Okay, so I like it. I like that movie. This movie is probably maybe straight to DVD. But who knows? It might get a decent distribution. I know at least people are going to go see a movie made by, Tarantino starring Ali Wong and Amy Schumer and Jackie Chan with a special guest appearance by Chris Tucker.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Hey, man, you ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do.
Oh, I thought of a movie idea. It was kind of in my act, but it's Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it's a combination of two movies. It's Friday and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, right.
It's like, instead of Debo, it's Jason. He's on a beach cruiser with a machete.
Right? I like it.
He's like, my neck, my back. What neck?
Hey, Craig. You gotta get out of the way with Debo. He's gonna kill you. With myself, like, you see those guys, those stand-ups where they tell a joke and then you go like, really? That made people laugh? What a fucking hack.
Yeah.
But then you also see another comedian tell a joke and you're like, God damn it, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah, definitely.
But it could be the same joke for two different people. You know, you could think, man, what a hack joke, while I'm thinking, man, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah, and vice versa.
You know, it's so subjective, but it is always like one of those two, when it comes to like, you know, comedians watching other comedians, it's usually like, this is so stupid, I would never do a joke like that, that's beneath me, versus, man, I wish I thought of that, I wish I was that guy.
Yeah, well, like you said, the whole subjective part is, it's very hard to, that's the reason why open mics are so hard, is because, you know, your shit is subjective. So with open mics, the crowd, it varies
Oh yeah,
There's
and
so much.
The crowd is usually not there for comedy either.
Yeah.
They're not there like, oh man, I hope some people talk about some rape jokes tonight.
Yeah, and so it's like you were saying, like people that go to see, whoever, Louis C.K. or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason like he gets all those big laughs, well,
at this stage,
right, is because the shows that he's putting on and the people that are going to his shows are all kind of like-minded people in the sense of, they all like
his type of humor.
Yeah, exactly. Versus like, so he has that audience versus like going to a cafe or a bar where it's like,
yeah, in this stage, especially, like, I think it is for a large majority of your career, is you're going into audiences that you have to win over.
Exactly,
you know, they don't know who you are for at least the first 20 years of your career.
Yeah.
And then after, even if you have good jokes, they're now going like, who's this guy? He better make me laugh.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, I know this guy. He always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what's worse. Like, I don't know, like, having to like keep up that like, that like type of mentality or that type of standard of now where like, Louis C.K. has this standard of like having this cool special every hour or every year. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be every hour soon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to have a new hour every hour.
24 a day.
24 specials a day. Yeah. But that's the thing. So he has a new special every year. But now people are now expecting, okay, this is going to be some sweet hour every year. And then like the 5th year in, it's maybe not as good as his first year. And then suddenly you're like, ugh, like this guy's not as good as I last saw him. And then you're like, dude, he's still amazing. He's just putting out content too much.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like he's almost shooting himself in the foot for being awesome.
Yeah. There is that, which is hard work and awesome, but you could pull a Dave Chappelle and go on a hiatus for 10 years and just come back with
It's true.
vengeance.
It's true.
Which is kind of like cool in its own way, but
both are like not bad. Like they're both just different paths.
Yeah, exactly.
But like they're both two of the biggest names ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you want to like keep having to win over people and prove like that you're funny for for your entire career, or do you want fans that just know like, oh, anytime I see this guy, he's gonna make me laugh?
Yeah, I would definitely like to have fans and
people that come to see Cody McIntyre.
Reba's my opener.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that would be nice. And
Cody Macrame.
It's Cody Macklemore.
Yeah, Cody Macklemore. I like that. You should have a different last name every time.
Cody Meek Mill.
Yep. Are you a big rap fan?
I used to be when it
was just Eminem.
Yeah, when I identified as a young black male.
Right. When you could wear blackface in the safety of your hood.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did feel like getting growing up in the mean streets of suburbia of Placentia and Yorba Linda. I feel like there was definitely not a lot of like struggles or like where I could relate to what rappers were going through. I love like what rap music was all about and like the beats and like the music itself, but I definitely like felt like it was a disconnect. Like I didn't relate as much. It's like I liked it, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
and feel its pain or feel like hey, this speaks to me.
Yeah.
It was more like, no, he's talking about hot bitches and I like the beat.
Yeah, you have so much different like styles and this and that, obviously, like
East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, well, but definitely I relate more to like like a Wiz Khalifa versus like NWA,
Right.
So it's like
more new school, not old school.
Well, I definitely like old school better, but I just mean as far as like content wise,
What does Wiz Khalifa talk about versus NWA?
Well, like NWA is like, fuck the police.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority.
Or Straight Outta Compton.
Straight out of Compton. Crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called niggas with attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a sawed off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hard.
And Wiz Khalifa's singing about smoking weed.
1,000 pounds of weed. Riding in my car so fast I won't turn down the speed. Them hoes gon' use their feet no more, they break down to their knees and suck me like a king. Rose in my champagne glass and diamonds in my ring.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
and you can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, don't get me wrong, I choose NWA over Wiz Khalifa any day, but
right.
As far as like, you know, I would choose that, but I can't relate in the slightest, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess in a weird way, it's like you don't want to relate. Like, who wants to relate to like getting like, you know, shot by cops?
True, but in a way, or I guess one way kind of look at it is like it's a way to look at a situation or another place, you know, without being there or experiencing it. You know, it's kind of like
I mean, you can empathize and you can be definitely like, hey man, this sucks that you're going through this. But you don't have to be envious and go, oh man, I wish I was going through that shit too.
I wish I lived in the hood.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Which you know, I think there's people that are like that, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in a weird way, like, you know, the music almost kind of glamorizes the life of living on the streets.
Yeah.
Being in that type of situation, violence, hoes, whatever.
Yeah, and I think I feel that people who aren't in that situation, I feel the people who take it in a glamorizing... This
coming from two cisgendered white males.
Yeah. Well, I feel people who glamorize it themselves have never been in that situation versus people who have understand that it sucks, you know? So,
I think, like, in a weird way, it was like them trying to, like, you know, turn lemons into lemonade, where it was like, you know, hey, we're going through this shit. Let's make some music out of it. Or let's try to, like, you know, shine a light on it, show some people maybe about like what they're going through, and then maybe they'll get some sympathy, or maybe they'll at least get some you know, maybe not money. I'm thinking they're like they're more or less trying to show people like, hey, you know, we're going through this shit. Look at it, you know. And
yeah.
Obviously it's coming through a cool beat, but it's like we're trying to, you know, speak a message.
Well, I wonder if it's I feel that's a degree to it, but I also feel that the whole rhyming, coming up with rhymes, that in itself is a skill. So Definitely. It's like, oh, I have this skill of, you know, putting words together that rhyme, make them over a beat, and it's like, okay, I can do this, but now where's my subject matter? And I'm going to do what I know, and that's, you know,
bitches and hoes,
yeah,
and 40s. Yeah. I love it. I love it all. I love every genre of music. Every genre has like something to offer and something to be like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I definitely try to listen to. I try to have a large library of music. What my idea is, I try to have I try to have music for every like situation in my life. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm going to maybe like a rowdy bar, I might like play rock or metal or something. If I'm going to go to a lounge or what have you, I might play like, you know, whatever.
Every mood, every environment, every situation, definitely has like a cool song that could, you know, increase the vibe.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to put polka on, right when you're about to like, you know, get surgery.
Yeah.
Or right when you're gonna fuck, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or maybe you do if you're German.
Or Weird Al.
Yeah.
That was actually my first concert was Weird Al.
Hell yeah. I heard he's doing a new tour where he's going to be doing a bunch of B-sides and originals. He's not doing any of the parodies.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So look forward to that, guys, if you're a big Weird Al fan. But obviously, every comedian has a billion stories about shitty mics.
Oh, yeah.
Or something happening where you're like, I just wanted to tell jokes to a couple of people, and it ended up being just, this, and it was nothing fun at all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely been times where the fun is not there.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this?
Do you have like an experience of like the worst time so far?
Yeah, we've talked about it, but definitely just, standing around and shit like that.
The wait for an open mic can be brutal.
Yeah.
And could be very soul crushing and could, be the detriment to a lot of sets that would have normally have gone really well if you weren't waiting for 6 hours.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And
but sometimes that's the way it happens. Like, I mean, in this game, obviously we're in LA. We're in a big, heavily populated market.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of demand for stage time.
Yeah, or not even that, or the waiting, but even sometimes going to a mic and there's a chance you might not even get on.
Yeah, the lottery system is a big factor, especially a lot in LA. Yeah, you could be going out there spending 3 hours for nothing.
Yeah.
Just to hang out there. And yeah, you might still meet some connections, hang out with friends, still see some cool comedy. You're in the scene, but are you getting to hone your craft? No. You just sat there for 3 hours and watched a bunch of other guys hone their craft.
Yeah. And that's a hard part.
It's a hard thing to do. And obviously too, most mics, in order to even get into that lottery, cost a beer or whatever, or cost something to buy. So then you just spent $5 and then didn't even get up on top of that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, then they just tell you, just come back next week.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Those are the hard ones. Those, yeah.
And it could be, soul crushing
Yeah.
to be at some place for 6 weeks in a row and not go up at all.
Yeah.
And that's why I obviously tend to do, more Orange County and Long Beach mics for that reason, where you might wait a little longer. You might be on a list, where you're 20th out of 23.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least you're going up. At least you're going to get up at some point.
Definitely. The Orange County scene is pretty small.
Yeah, it's small, but it is still vibrant enough where you can still get on a mic every day of the week. You can probably still hit up multiple mics every night of the week. And you might have to travel, literally all around Orange County and maybe into LA a little bit, but you could still do it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of other cities, especially, like where you were from in Indiana, there's probably an open mic once a week.
Yeah.
Not even, every night of the week.
Yeah. But I just meant like, as far as small, like everybody here.
Oh yeah,
we all know each other.
You're going to run into the same 30 dudes for sure.
Yeah.
Real quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fun. I mean, and it is nice to actually kind of know those people and know like, oh, this guy's also here. And, obviously it is kind of like high school where you might know everybody in your school, but are you best friends with everybody in your school?
Right.
No. You still have those cliques. You still have those guys that kind of gravitate towards other people more. And you have, there's those like times where you'll commingle where there might be those like, okay, those, the crossover where this clique kind of hangs out with this other clique for a little bit.
Yeah.
And nobody's like, nobody hates each other. It's just, I don't hang out with this person outside of comedy. I just see him at mics.
Yep.
Yeah. But these other 2 or 3 dudes, I'll see outside of mics. And it's nothing against one or the other. People just mesh others. That's how friendships work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's kind of like you said, the high school thing, but it's like it's all kind of like a common respect just because like we're all doing the same thing. Even though we might not be like best friends or whatever, but it's like we're in this together kind of thing. Like we're doing the same thing. We know the ups and downs. We're all living it essentially. So
there is the community of stand up. Come on, like we're all stand ups. We're all trying to do this.
Yeah.
But then beyond that, then it becomes like, okay, would I hang out with this person if comedy wasn't the factor or the one common denominator? And I think that's where you come into actual friendships where it's like, we're all comedy people. We're all trying to do this thing. But do I, have the same interests outside of comedy? Do we both love horror movies or do we both like black chicks? Or I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
That's why I have a friend. That's the only reason why I'm friends with certain people. Is you like black chicks? So do I. Oh, you like Star Wars? Well, fuck you. No, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I've had those times, like, I'm not closer with certain dudes because of my age difference. I've noticed, like, most comedians are in their mid-20s, at least in the scene that we're in.
Even some are, like, in their early 20s.
Right.
So it's like...
Like you. I mean, you're in your early 20s, and, like, I'm a good, 10 years older than you. And, like, I think that's most where it's like, I think we're not best friends because of that age gap, you know?
Sure.
And maybe because there is a little bit of a difference where, like, certain dudes are living with their parents and, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm living on my own. So it's a different, like, you know, dynamic.
No, absolutely. I mean, even, like, I mean, some of the younger kids.
Like, I can understand you or certain other comedians not inviting me over to their house because it's their parents' house.
Yeah. Well, I don't live with my parents.
When did you move out?
Like 2 years ago.
Nice.
So, I hear you, but, actually, that David Tell show, he goes, it was my birthday, and he's like, when's your birthday? I was like, Halloween. He's like, how old are you? I said, guess how old I am. He's like, I want to guess. He goes, without blinking an eye, he goes, so I'm going to say somewhere between 25 and living in your mom's basement.
Yep, that's right.
I was like, nice. But, it was, no, I even hear you, because some of the people there that in our scene are even younger than me, and they
it's
definitely
natural.
have.
That's the thing. Like,
And they're cool. Like, they're cool people, but there's definitely a level of maturity, I would say.
I'm not saying I don't get along with anybody under 25.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we're at different stages in our lives, so I think that's why we're not maybe hanging out every day.
Right. No, I definitely hear you.
And maybe, you know, if comedy wasn't a factor or a common aspect of both of our lives, maybe I wouldn't have seen them or known them outside, you know, otherwise. But I don't know. Like, I think for the most part, I've met a shitload of cool guys. Like, I don't think there's a lot of guys where I'm like, ugh, why is he here? Or why is he talking to me? Or
there's only one, and he's a haystack.
And maybe that's the thing. Like, maybe certain guys are thinking that about me. I don't know. I'd like to think not, but I'm also a person that's in my head a lot and overthinks the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
And a big factor is always, like, being accepted. Like, the first 6 months, even more so, maybe even a year that I was doing comedy, I wasn't just thinking about the jokes. I was thinking about, I hope these guys that are also doing jokes like me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because you are getting into a scene, and you definitely...
And you want to be accepted. You don't want to be the one dude that's, like, getting pushed out or getting shunned or...
No, absolutely.
Everybody's like, hey, see that guy? Don't talk to him.
Yeah. No, it's... Yeah.
No, but then obviously, once I started finding a bunch of people that were like, hey, dude, you're awesome. Or this guy's cool, blah, blah, blah. You know, obviously, I feel like I'm accepted now. But it is like, you know, you just always want that acceptance no matter what. I think it is even ongoing. Like, okay, now I know these guys are what I would call friends. But now it's like, oh, I hope these friends still find me funny and want to, like, hear me, you know, tell jokes and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just like, I know he's a cool guy, but do I find him funny? Not really.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel like once, you know, like, you cross over into, like, a friendship type of thing, people are more accepting of your jokes, so to speak. They're not, like, if you don't know anybody, or if you don't know somebody and they first show up, say they're not very good, but then, like, once you get to know them, you know, you kind of see where their point of view is or where they're coming from, and maybe kind of try to understand their jokes.
I feel like once you become, like, a fan of somebody, whatever they do, you're gonna probably like. So, like, okay, I look at all the, like, you know, comedians that I look up to.
Mm-hmm.
The David Tells, the Louis C.K.'s, Patton Oswalt's, whatever. And since I'm already a fan, and since I'm already, like, sold on, like, this guy makes me laugh, I'm already on board of pretty much whatever they have to say. So whatever they have to say, I think I'm already in that mode of, like, oh, they're going to be saying something probably funny, so I'm going to laugh at it. And it's like, would have I laughed if it was, like, some guy that I was just working with, you know, at my day job that just said this?
Yeah, that definitely.
You know, would have I laughed? Or am I laughing because Louis C.K. said it at a comedy show?
Yeah, I definitely think once you get, well, to a certain point, people are definitely biased as far as what you have to say. And
it's like we were talking about with Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Certain people, like, they can just say things and give a look to the camera and people will just bust up laughing, and you're just like, dude, all he said was, not my mama, or whatever, you know, like, it's like he just made a phrase and then did a little, what? Like, and then people are loving it, and you're like, if I did that, it would get crickets.
Yeah.
Nobody would be laughing.
But you don't want to be that guy who thinks he's at that level and does that shit.
Do you think you could ever do what Carrot Top does?
Like props and shit?
Yeah. He's the only prop comic.
Yeah.
He like broke the mold. Like nobody after him was like, I could do props too.
I've only thought of one prop joke, but I don't know, man. Like he's kind of has a stranglehold on, because when I think of prop comedy, that's what I think of, and I like Carrot Top. I think
of course, there's a reason why he's like in Vegas forever.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like he's like there because nobody goes and sees him.
Yeah, that is true, and
it's just everybody. You know, obviously, I think it's like he just doesn't get a big acceptance within the scene itself. You know, a lot of comedy guys or comedians, they're the ones that are like, this guy's lame, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, but is he making people laugh?
Yeah.
Like, you might not like him because he's not what you bring.
I forget who it was. Somebody said something about Carrot Top. I think it was Lewis Black, but they said, like, all the shit that we're going through, like with open mics and shit, he did, but with a trunk full of props. And like, that's pretty crazy.
No shit. Yeah. He had people laugh at something that he took hours to make.
Yeah.
He put a pogo stick with tits on it, and then somebody didn't laugh, and he was like, oh, I guess my tit stick didn't work. I don't even know why you would have a tit stick, but
so funny.
All right, I think we're about ending that. I think we're about, we've done about enough. How do you feel?
No, I feel good.
Sweet.
It was cool.
All right, guys, let's just shove on out. And I want to thank, obviously, Cody Modglin. Modular.
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Cody, definitely thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Do you want to throw out any of your social media?
All I have really, I just Facebook, just Cody McIntyre.
Cody.
Just look Cody CODY and then Modglin MODGLIN.
There you go.
That's about it. So
look him up on Facebook, guys, and obviously just follow and rate and subscribe to this show, This Comics Live, and just go to thiscomicslivepod@gmail.com if you want to write us an email or just whatever. And just keep doing what you're doing. You've been listening to
This Comics